What's going on, everybody? This is Chris Wortman alongside
Brandon Petta. How we doing, gang?
That's right. Welcome to the Higher Purpose Podcast, Episode 8. Today we're going to be covering New Year's resolutions as well as our challenge that's coming up.
Yeah, so me and Chris are super excited. We announced last week we have a 30-day shortcut to shredded challenge. It's for anyone who has gained a little extra weight over the holidays and they want to take care of that, or anyone honestly that's just looking to cut and start the year off strong and just gain some momentum going into the year.
Right. I look at this as like a really valuable tool for anybody that is just looking to stay on track and looking to be held accountable, especially starting the New Year's and getting your New Year's starting off your New Year's with your health in mind for sure. So I feel like this challenge is for really anyone.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, man. And me and Chris are super excited we're going to bring you guys workouts we're going to meet you where you're at. So if you do have access to a gym, we're going to have workouts dedicated for you so that you can utilize the equipment there. But if you don't have that gym equipment, we're going to be able to incorporate some at-home body weight stuff, and just to ensure that you are getting that work in, dedicated to fat burning, and you have some success. And we'll meet you, like I said, where you're at, wherever you're at.
That's right. And then we'll also be giving nutrition guidelines. So we're going to be showing you how to not only figure out how many calories you're supposed to be having, but where these calories should be coming from in order for you to see the results that you're after. So we're doing that, and then we got live Q&As. We're going to be doing just short videos. We're going to have daily mini challenges. And, dude, I am really excited. And I think for those of you that might be on the fence about this or are just hearing about it now, this is probably one of the most valuable challenges / courses that you could take. You have two very young, knowledgeable trainers with a huge amount of experience. And we are people. Like, we're people. We're people's people. We are the people's people. Like, we are here for people. So every question will get answered. Every comment will get answered. We will break down anything that people need clarification on. And so our goal is to be here for you for these 30 days. We want to see you be successful. And I couldn't be, like, more excited for this. And I think, like, as someone who might be watching us right now, like, there's no better opportunity, I don't think, and a better value. $30 for 30 days?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
It's literally
two professionals.
It's $1 a day. You guys do have the opportunity to win a cash prize if you have the biggest transformation.
And cash is on the line. Like, even I don't even care if you look up in 30 days and you're like, wow, I learned something. I lost some weight. I didn't win, but whatever. That's worth that $30 investment. I promise you right now, the information that you're going to get, the tools that you're going to get from Brandon and I are they're invaluable. And if you win, wow, like, congratulations. Now you're walking away healthier, feeling good, goals are on track, and you walk away with some cash.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right, man. And one other thing just about challenges that are so great is so many times you can lose. Obviously, people start off strong, but even for, like, after that first week or that second week, the self-doubt can kind of kick back into play, and people can almost be reminded of why they weren't already in the gym beforehand for the rest of the year. But the great thing is 30 days is perfect because it's not too long. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but it will keep you motivated and engaged for longer than, like, that 2.5 week stint where you could kind of lose gas. And so we're going to be there for you. We're going to hold you accountable, and we're going to make sure that you get the most out of it. And whatever questions you have along the way, please ask us. We're here to help. We want you guys to have as much success as possible and really just get the new year kick-started off the right foot.
And even better than having Brandon and I think probably the most overlooked benefit of having this challenge is the Facebook group community.
Yeah.
And that's something that's overlooked. But if we have 50 people that are all on the same mission, rooting each other on, cheering each other on, like, I want people to use that Facebook group as, like, a place that they can not only ask questions, but a place that they can celebrate their victories, celebrate their successes. Like, hey, I'm down 5 pounds, and Becky's down 3, and, like, we're cheering each other on. And maybe, Nancy didn't get off to a great start, but seeing the results from other people, like, she's gonna be like, all right, let's go, game time. Everyone else is putting in the work. I got to do the same thing. So we're gonna be formulating and creating really a community within the internet, whatever that's called these days, virtual community, which I'm all about community. So I think that this is just an amazing opportunity. A bunch of like-minded people getting together for the new year, trying to crush their goals, and I am like super excited for it. I did something similar last year. It was a huge success. We did a lot of mini challenges, holding people accountable, hydration, steps, all sorts of healthy habits that we talked about, and I can't wait.
Yeah, absolutely. We are absolutely hyped about it. If you are interested,
And not only that, Brandon and I are going to be like joining you guys with the challenge. We have our own goals that we're going to be going through. So we're going to be right alongside with you. We're not just like telling you to eat healthy and then we're out here like pigging out on podcasts. No, like we're putting in the work too. We're putting in the workouts. We're staying on top of our nutrition. We're going to be holding ourselves accountable. We're going to be holding you accountable, and you guys are going to be holding us accountable. That's how a community works. So I'm really excited. And you were saying about signing up.
Oh, so if you are interested in signing up, you can reach out to either Chris or myself. We do have a form that you
Google form. The link is still in my bio, Chris Wertman Physique on Instagram.
It's also in my bio as well on Instagram at Brandon_Peda, PEDA.
Deadline for signups is going to be December 31st, so that's New Year's Eve at midnight. And we can collect payment via Venmo.
Mm-hmm.
So once you fill out that form, we'll reach out to you individually, and we'll get you all set up for the challenge. We'll get you admitted into the group, and we'll get this thing rolling.
Yeah, and if you have any family members or friends or honestly anyone that you want to do this with, when you invite people that are close to you, and you can help uplift each other and hold each other accountable as well, as the community aspect, that's going to be huge. And people are so much more likely, I've noticed, to get on board and really attack their goals when they have a loved one or a close friend
Absolutely.
or someone in the mix that's on the same page as them.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree.
Absolutely. Let your family, friends, let everyone know. And we're super excited to get after this thing.
So, find the link in our bio. Sign up. I promise you, it's well worth the $30. And we're gonna, if anything, we're giving a lot of value. We're giving a lot of value for that $30. So,
absolutely.
If you don't sign up, you're missing out. Hate to be rude like that, but it's the truth. So, sign up. And that's going to lead us into New Year's resolutions. So
we are right around, what is the date today? December 21st. Oh, it's the first day of winter today.
Dude, wow.
First day of winter.
That's how you know. I mean, life has been so crazy. It feels like December 1st was yesterday. And I'm looking up and I'm like, where did like the last month go?
Yeah.
And it feels like every day is a marathon, but somehow we're December 21st and Christmas is in 4 days.
Wow, holy crap, man. But so New Year's right around the corner. It's going to get us talking about New Year's resolutions. I know New Year's resolutions can get a lot of people can be pessimistic about them and saying that why would you have to wait for the new year to get started going now? And although that there is some truth in that, I'm a big believer in New Year's resolutions. Amen. There are statistics that show people having success once they do set their resolutions, at least more often than other times of the year when they claim to commit to doing something. And it's important to commit to the New Year's resolution the right way. So when I say the right way, when you decide and make a true decision that you want to change something, you can't just automatically say, I'm going to lose weight this New Year's. That's it. I'm going to lose weight. And then just go January 1st comes or whatever.
This is my year. I'm going to get in shape.
This is the year I'm going to get in shape. But you didn't put any plan together or specific measurable goals. Like you didn't have anything specific that you wanted to get to. You didn't put a plan in place, or you didn't change the habits that have been leading you down the wrong path in the first place. So it's super important when we make our New Year's resolutions that we deep dive into first our why. Why do we want to make this change? If it's to lose weight, why do we want to lose weight? Is it because we want to become more confident in ourselves and take our shirts off on the beach and not wear a shirt on the beach? Is it because we want to be a good example like for our kids or our family members or anyone? You have to ask yourself the reason why in the first place that you want to make the change. Then I suggest going back to the previous year and reflecting on the previous year. what did you do well and what did you not do so well that that aligns with what your goal is. Like if you didn't look back and look at all the weekend binges and not take action to correct those in the upcoming year, you're going to find yourself in the exact same situation if you don't do that deep work and figure out how you can approach it with a new lens.
I think it can be really hard for people, but you have to be honest with yourself.
Exactly.
That's the first thing. I like how you said the why. So like the why is going to be the factor, like that purpose that's going to drive you and help you to stay consistent, to remain on path. But I think a lot of it too is like there's certain habits that have gotten you to where you're at today. Whether it's bad eating, lack of exercise, it could be eating out too much. There's a lot of different things that it could be, but the first thing you have to do is be honest with yourself, I think, and say what got me to here, or what have I been doing that hasn't been helping me like get to my goal. And when you can identify those factors, the next thing you have to do, and this is like a big Tony Robbins thing, is taking action. Like you can't just be like, oh yeah, I gotta, eat better. Well, go to the store and load your house, get rid of any candy, cookies, crackers. Like if that's your weakness, don't even have it in your house. And if you go to don't buy it at the grocery store. Fill your house with an abundance of fruit and vegetables. And that's taking action. That's taking that first step towards like, I'm not gonna eat this way anymore. Or maybe it's going and buying a gym membership. Maybe it's getting a personal trainer. Maybe it's hiring a coach. You have to take some type of action. Maybe it's joining our challenge, but take action. And that's like, that can be the hardest thing, is like taking that first step of action towards what you want. And then your why will also be there, which that purpose is going to keep you, consistent on that path.
And you are 100% right with the taking action. And I just want to be even more specific. Take immediate action.
Right. Not tomorrow.
Exactly. It's like when you decide, when you tell yourself that like, I'm not drinking, I'm doing sober January or whatever, I'm taking the month off for drinking, go to your refrigerator and throw your beers out.
I always tell everyone, like, you're not going to drive. I mean, most people aren't going to drive to the store in the middle of the night and buy a bag of chips. But if they're in the cupboard, like, it's right there.
Exactly.
And I relate food sometimes to drugs, which is weird. But I said even to my mom, because my parents eat like not well. It's like
no, I'm just being honest.
And I have a sweet tooth. Like I am prone, and I'll be honest, I'm prone for like M&Ms and like candy in the middle of the night. And I literally said to my mom, it's like you wouldn't take a recovering drug addict and put like cocaine in the cupboard. So it's like, can we just not have them in the house? Like, I'm not driving to Hannaford at 11 at night to buy a bag of M&Ms.
Yeah.
But if they're there, I might dabble in them.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's one of those things. It's like, remove that problem. Take action. And I think it was Jim Rohn always preached, take action while emotion is high. So like, there's going to be times like, and this happens all throughout life, like in your entire fitness journey, where like, there's this like strong urge, like I need to make a change. Or I need to get healthy again. Like something might happen, something might pop up. It could just be the state you're in. You might see a commercial. But at the end of the day, when that emotion is really high and you're like, fuck, ooh, sorry for my language. But F yeah, I need to make a change. Like that's the time to take action.
Exactly.
If you don't do anything in that moment, the height of your emotional state will come down to like a baseline again, and then maybe you never end up taking
it's almost as if it's like a contract with yourself,
right?
Like as soon as you take the action, you're like, I mean it this time. Like I'm not fucking around this time. Like there's no other option.
You have to. Sometimes I'm sorry, but like no one's gonna necessarily like help, like be there or to help you. Like at the end of the day, like everyone could be there to help you. I'm sorry. Everybody could be there to help you. Everybody could want to help you, but at the end of the day, like you have to like strip yourself naked, not actually, but strip yourself naked, really figure out what the root of the problem is, and then hold yourself accountable. Take action, because at the end of the day, like your discipline, which we've talked about before, your self-discipline is going to really define like the outcome of these goals.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right, man. And honestly, you need, like we've prefaced before in different episodes, is we have to ask ourselves the hard questions and be super real and super raw with ourselves. Right. I'm saying like if you don't journal or whatever, like get a notebook, get some paper. For example, here are some questions. like what lessons did I learn this year? What do I still need to improve on? Be super raw and real with yourself. What's my vision? Did I get any closer to getting there in the past year? One of my favorite questions. If I don't change this, what will it ultimately cost me? You need to ask yourself what you want and what's standing in your way. If there's food or situations, drinking or whatever that's standing in your way, write down specifically how have they stopped you from getting what they want. Have you, if you had some like bad weekends, don't try and just ignore that.
Right.
Don't ignore that shit. Like embrace that. Like face that uncomfortableness, because
Right.
that's what you need to do. You need to, another Tony Robbins thing, you need to link pain. It sounds harsh. You need to link pain to the behavior that you don't want to continue to condition.
Right. And I think, honestly, for something that even has driven me since in college, and this is kind of crazy, but I had a family member that passed away suddenly from a heart attack, and that pain, like the fear, the thought of actually like dying with no previous medical like history because of a heart condition, that pain, like the idea of that drove me to wanting to eat healthy, whole, like holistic, natural foods. And like
Exactly.
I literally would look at like a box of I don't even know, like a box of Cheez-Its and be like, that's a heart attack waiting to happen.
Sure.
A bag of chips, whatever it might be. But like linking pain to those things,
Yeah.
like you said, and it works. Like
Yeah.
if you start to think of it in a different light, and not as pleasure, because I think, especially with food, I'm thinking a lot more of diet, because I feel like a lot of people have problems with that, but drinking is huge too.
Yeah. Well, and think
And
about
pain-
like
liver
something.
disease, like
Yeah.
wow, like it's and another thing, like this is like more younger demographic. We don't think about it too much, but like ultimately, if you're anywhere from high school all the way to 30s, we'll say, ultimately, like we are going to be old one day.
Yeah.
All right,
Believe
so,
it or
like,
not.
Yeah, believe it or not, one day all of this like binge drinking, all this eating like
Catch
shit,
up with you.
it will get you one day, and it might not be tomorrow. It might not be 2 years from now. Like you might go out and have a case of beer every weekend, and you eat pizza 5 minutes a week, and yeah, you're skinny right now. I get it. That's cool. But what about 40 years from now? And I think you'll see it a lot if you talk to like your parents, who might be like in their 50s. It's more or less like at that point it becomes an idea of like prolonging life and living a healthier quality of life.
You're
So
right.
that's why these changes are important, and if we can make them earlier in life, the less that we're gonna have to worry down the road. And that got me on a little bit of a tangent, but
Yeah. No, you're good.
but yeah, no, linking pain is huge. And I actually just met with someone yesterday for the first time, and like their biggest motivating factor was the fact that they wanted to be able to play with their grandkids. And I'm working with some grandmas right now, and it's like I use that as like motivation to like, do you want to see your grandson graduate? Do you want to be there? Do you want to be able to, roll around in the ground with him and play? Like that, it goes a long way, and we don't think about that a lot, especially when we're younger. But as we age, like these are things to take into consideration.
No, you're absolutely right, and the pain, that part is super huge. But what's also just as important is the positive reinforcement,
Right.
that when you do something that aligns with the person that you're trying to become. So, for example, if you're trying to lose weight, link pleasure to the when you push the plate away from you, when you still have food left on the plate,
Right.
but you're sitting with yourself and you're like, wow, I'm actually full and I don't need to eat this entire plate, and you push the plate away or you put the fork down. Link pleasure to that feeling that
Right.
that's a very like freeing feeling.
Oh my gosh, dude, it's so, I feel amazing when especially like at holiday dinners when
Sure.
like I eat one plate and everyone's going back to stuff their face with seconds,
Sure.
and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
That inside, I'm like, yeah, you
Yeah.
got it. Like
Yeah.
you're strong. You don't need to cave in.
Yeah.
And also you're saying pleasure too. Like another way that I link pleasure to like healthy habits is like I always put myself in the shoes of like where I want to be. So like if like that beach body, you're like ripping your shirt off at the beach,
Yeah,
and
hell
like you're
yeah.
comfortable and everyone's looking at you and you all shredded and stuff.
Yeah, bro, let's go.
Like I think about that. Like it's
Yeah.
cold, it's winter, but how do I want to feel next summer? And like that will sometimes drive me like, do I really need that extra snack? Do I really need to have that extra helping? It's like, how am I gonna feel like if I sacrifice a little bit now?
Yeah.
later down the road, I'm gonna thank myself that I did that. So
sacrifice the short term sugar highs
Right.
for the long term vision. The
Right.
vision is so important, and
That-
obviously it's like we talk about living in the moment, and living in the moment is so important because we want to do the very best we can now in order to create the vision that we want. However, having glimpses of the vision that you're trying to create so that you can continue to refine and make sure you're going in the direction of that vision. One, it's reinvigorating,
Right.
and it can be some fuel and some more motivation of like why am I doing, like a quick reminder, why am I doing
Right.
this again? Oh yeah, because I want to be living like this and feel like this at some point in time.
Right.
And that's super powerful.
Yes, no, absolutely. And I try to like flood my mind with constant reminders too. So I find like little things that'll happen, and I'll even like could be as simple as your screensaver, like something that you see a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Just little nudges like to keep you on track, like and I find that goes a really long way because it reminds you of that why. And the more that we can remind ourselves like why we're doing something, the how becomes really easy.
Yeah.
And I think the hardest part, so for anyone watching and that's like, I'm down bad right now, I'm like, whatever, I'm 50 pounds from where I want to be, like, the hardest part is going to be like taking that first step and that first action and kind of realizing the why. But once you start to see results, like the process does become somewhat easier and more routine, more habitual. So I don't want like to scare people and be like, yeah, you got to remind yourself why all the way till summer and this is gonna suck and you're gonna be tired and low cal. Like no, like the initial, what did they say? 28 days is a habit, or has
28, 32. I've heard some different ones, but
either way,
it's
if you give me 4 weeks of like consistency, it's gonna feel pretty normal at that point, and like you'll be feeling good. So like 4 weeks without the drinking. Trust me, you go 4 weeks without boozing, and you might not ever want to do it again.
That's a thing that's super powerful, especially with the challenges. Like we said, I've seen clients in the past that they couldn't imagine. I suggested like, let's cut maybe the drinking in half, right, on the weekends or whatever, and they have been like, well, I'd rather just do all or nothing. I'd rather just try to not do it at all. And I was like, all right, like we can try it. Like that wasn't the suggestion, but if you want to try that. And what happened was, they saw more success and results in about 2.5 weeks when they cut out the drinking altogether. And it was initially only supposed to be about 30 days, but they became so addicted to the results that they had never seen before, because they challenged themselves for those 30 days. So they kept the drinking out, and they kept cutting it out and kept going forward without it. And that's the beauty of a challenge, because you not to bring back to our challenge, but kind of like that's why it's gonna be super important.
No, I couldn't agree more. And I'm not really a big drinker. I only drink like once every 3 or 4 months, and that like one time reminds me why I don't drink.
Yep, exactly.
But, like, you feel better.
Oh yeah.
Like 100. So when you're like, I look at my body as a car too, and it's like when the car is operating, when you're feeding it good fuel, you're not putting anything bad into your body, you're on a nice routine with your sleep, like you feel amazing, and like you don't want to get off that roll. Like like you literally aren't even fazed by the thought of like going out and drinking, or even like having like, quote unquote, I hate to say it, but like a cheat meal. But like when you're like operating on a high level, like you feel just unbelievable.
Yeah. And I think that just like leads to, so often we give up, or like I was saying before, the 2.5 weeks, right? People or give it or something, and then they don't follow through. We don't give it long enough to see the actual progress and the results. And once you do and you keep going, I swear to God, guys, it's literally addictive. When you see progress over and over and the results, that is all that matters. Like that, like you're doing it the right way.
It's a confidence boost knowing that you can actually like do it. And I think time frame is the biggest thing, like you said. And in 2 weeks, you're not going to see results. I always tell people like, okay, maybe this year's New Year's resolution is to like quote unquote get in shape. And we already said how that's bad, but that was probably last year's New Year's resolution too. But what if you started a year ago? Like, where would you be today? So it's like, understand that this is a slow process. Like, you don't change your body overnight. Muscle building is slow. Weight loss is slow. And you didn't gain all that weight overnight, or you know. So it's like, let time run its course. Create healthy habits that you can like sustain for long periods of time. That's another thing too. I think a lot of people on New Year's Day or whenever they decide, probably that Monday after the 3rd, will be like, I'm gonna cut out everything. Like, no drinking. I'm gonna only eat salad. Like, no carbs. Like, that's not sustainable. So you have to do something that's gonna be like sustainable for the long run. You can't go too crazy on yourself. If you can only make it to the gym 3 days a week realistically, and that's like all you can handle, then only go to the gym 3 days a week. Don't be like, oh, I'm gonna start. You know, it's just the first week. I'm gonna try to do 7 days, and then you burn out and you feel like crap. I want people to, like, with the New Year's coming up, I want people to think, let's set realistic goals here. I want people to think like 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
Like, how are you gonna feel 4th of July weekend?
Sure.
And all of us have different like goals in mind. Some people want to lose 10 pounds. Like, that's attainable in the first couple of months. But if you're one of those people that's like needs to make some serious changes, like, strap on your seatbelt and let's see where you're at like halfway through the year, 4th of July. I think that's a lot more realistic.
Yeah, and when it comes to the goals, so if you got your notes app or pen and paper, whatever, I want you to write this down. So there's 3 different types of goals, okay? There's outcome goals, which is the result. So, for example, the number on the scale.
Right.
There are performance goals and there are process goals. Performance goals when it comes to weight loss could be, so if your maintenance is 2,500 calories a day or something, you decrease by 500 calories and you're eating 2,000 calories a day. So your performance goal was reducing calorie intake by 500 calories a day. A process goal could be when you go to the grocery store and you don't go to the middle aisles. The middle aisles are where all the processed foods are, and so you're just sticking to the outside. The outside of the grocery store is notoriously where the Whole Foods are.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is, by focusing on your performance and your process goals, that is going to be how you attain your outcome goals.
Right.
But so more often than not, everyone is just so focused on the scale weight and so focused on the body fat percentage. Definitely set those targets so that you have something specific and measurable to work towards. And then along the way, you can look at the milestones and celebrate and reward yourself. But if you focus on that every single day, you are going to drive yourself crazy because there are just way too many variables in life that get in the way of those outcome goals looking the way that we would like them to.
Yeah.
So by sticking and really just dialing in the process goals, your performance on a daily basis, then the outcome goal, it's going to unfold eventually the way that you would like it to.
Right. And I think, like, what's that saying? It's like Rome wasn't built in a night. Or
Rome wasn't built in one day?
Yeah, whatever. Rome wasn't built in one day. But anyways, it's like, think of your journey too as like a wall or like a puzzle, and like every day is a piece to that puzzle. So I want people to celebrate and just little victories too. Like, celebrate your small wins.
Yeah.
Because it's all the little victories that add up that are gonna actually get you to that outcome goal. So like, if it is like maybe it's a habit of drinking at night and like you don't on the first night, celebrate the small ones. Or maybe you haven't been to the gym in 2 months and you went and you lasted 20 minutes walking on the treadmill and you had no idea what you were doing, but you walked for 20 minutes. That's a win. Don't, any step in the right direction that's taking you closer to your goal, I feel like is a victory that you need to celebrate and not feel bad about anything that's trying to, take action and take change towards your goals. So that's, I think we get too caught up in like, oh, I've lost 2 pounds, but there's still 48 more to go. But like, you've lost 2 pounds, like that's really amazing. Even if it took 2 weeks to lose those 2 pounds, at least we're moving in the right direction. We're conscious about it. We're thinking about it. So I think it's like I said, for especially anyone on those long-term journeys, like celebrating the little victories, smaller goals along the way is huge.
And the way in which you celebrate those are also huge.
Yes,
I had a video or post or some type of something.
You were holding a whiteboard.
I was on the whiteboard. Yeah, I
I
like the whiteboard. there are ways in which you can celebrate that align with your goals. I don't know how many times I see people on a fat loss journey and they crush their week in the gym with their nutrition, and then they blow it out with food and alcohol on a Saturday because they feel that they earned it or like deserved it, and it just isn't the right, like there's cognitive dissonance there. Like they don't align how you're celebrating and the goals that you're trying to achieve right now. So if your goal is fat loss, don't celebrate it with a large pizza and beer and this and that. Celebrate it with real self-care activities that you will genuinely appreciate. And if you don't know what that, like what self-care means or how to do that, just some examples, like go, like if you had a great lift week, go and get like a massage for yourself. That's something that I definitely don't do enough. I really should. I feel like my body like could definitely use it.
Yeah.
Like that's like something that you could definitely do. Like book yourself a massage, like get like go on a hike or like call a friend that you haven't talked to in a while. Let them know about your successes so that you can share that experience with someone. Like go get a new book. Like I don't know, just do something for yourself that makes you feel good, but that won't get in the way or bring you back with what your main goals are, because that's very important.
Yeah, no, I think so. Like I know even like someone who has like a problem, like I hit a new low weigh-in and I'm like, oh yeah, like celebrate with a refeed. Like, yeah, like, I dieted hard for 5 days, so I'm gonna have 5 guys tonight, whatever. Yeah. And even I remember seeing your post, I was like, yeah, I gotta implement some of these still.
Sure.
And so finding a way that will not take you any further from, or like take you off track, is huge in order to celebrate.
Exactly.
Because every milestone's huge, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But yeah, gang. So that's so some of the main things. Get your notebooks out. Write some questions down. Be real and raw with yourself. And get to the why of why this must happen, and that this time it's not a preference. It's not a, well, I'd like to lose weight or I'd like to change this. I should
lose weight.
Make it a must. Commit yourself, and get people on board that you're close with.
Right. Tell
your family and your friends, like, I'm not fucking around this time. Get that food out of the house. Dump the beer. Like, I'm sorry.
I'll pull a Billy Floyd. Burn your fucking boats, all right? Burn the boats. Take action and make a change, all right? This is your body. This is your health, your life, your wellness. So make a change. Decide today. Decide that you're going to actually make change for the first time, all right? Sorry, I was feeling passionate there, guys. Passionate. This is one of those times that I should make a change because I'm in that state.
Yeah.
So when you're feeling like this, throw away all your cookies.
Yeah, exactly. Just act upon it immediately. Yeah, literally immediately, right away while you're in that peak emotional state. Take action, do something about it, and you're going to be so much better off for it. And if you ever need help along the way with holding yourself accountable or have any questions about how to really stick with this, me and Chris, we're here for you guys. That's why we're doing this. We want to help
people.
We're the people's coaches, the community king.
The community. That's right. Yes, we're here for everybody. That's the reason that we're doing even this podcast, this whole series is just really because we want to be there for people. We want to help people. Feel free to reach out to us on Instagram, DMs, whatever, text messages, email, or come into the gym and come see us, talk to us. But we're here for everyone. We're here for people, and we really just want to see you guys be successful. And New Year's is a great time. With all the joking aside, the New Year is a great time to put your health and wellness goals at the top of your priority list. Stop kicking them to the side. Let's take some action, and maybe that action is heading over to our Instagram page, clicking the link, signing up for the challenge, and getting your year off to a right. You're on a right. I'm going to take English lessons in 2022. That way I'm better at this. But no, seriously, signing up for our challenge I think is an amazing way, a great value to kick off your New Year's and learn a little something about health, fitness, nutrition. We are going to do our absolute best to provide as much value as possible. So yeah, sign up. Like,
Yeah. Sign up, gang. You guys will not regret it. And yeah, let's get after it in the new year. We're excited about it. It's going to be a phenomenal year, truly, man. I'm super excited about it.
Absolutely. So, thank you all for joining us again today. The podcast number 8, and that's going to wrap up our 2021 podcast. And we will see you next year, baby.
See you
Let's
next
go.
year. Wow. See you next year, gang. Peace.
Peace.